But fastest of all is this, the Jaguar XJ220. This car has done 211 miles an hour. Quite how fast it's going to go today, I don't know. We'll have to see. The runway at Kemble is 1.3 miles long, with a blind crest about halfway down, which most cars will take at about 140 miles per hour. This is the start. It's the approach road to the runway, which itself is just over 1.2 miles long. We come through a corner coming onto the runway, doing about 65 to 75 miles an hour, aiming to accelerate through. It's a pretty fast corner because it's quite tight, and most cars will be pretty near their limit. We then come onto the main runway, which we're coming onto now, and accelerate as hard as we possibly can through as many of the gears. In this Porsche 911 Turbo, you'll get all the way through second, third, fourth, and fifth, and probably actually into sixth before braking at the end. The runway goes up over a brow. You can't actually see where the finish is, but as we come down the other side, this car should be pulling, it's difficult to say at the moment, but about 165 miles an hour before braking after the speed trap. At the end of it, there's very, very little runoff. There's not a lot of space to brake, so we are going to have to be quite careful and get on the brakes just as soon as we're through the trap. All these cars have been supplied by their manufacturer except the F40. Its owner, Chris Palmer, can't resist going out for a practice run. Who can blame him? It also gives us the chance to check that the timing equipment is working properly. Autocar Steve Sutcliffe is out for some early fun too. But soon the practice is over and the runs must start in earnest. First up to the start line, the Lotus Esprit S4S. With less than 300 horsepower, where all the others have 400 or more, it'll be doing well to break 150 miles per hour here. It starts well, accelerating hard through the early gears. But as 130 miles per hour approaches, the limitations of its 2.2-litre four-cylinder engine become all too apparent, and it starts to struggle for extra speed. By the time it's over the hill and trips the light beam, it's travelling at 146.16 miles per hour. Not a bad result for so little power, but not a difficult time to beat. The Dodge Viper should do better. 8 litres, 10 cylinders and 400 horsepower should see to that. It fairly explodes off the line, eating its first 3 gears in no time at all. But, like the Lotus, it starts to make heavy weather above 130 miles per hour. It's quicker, but 152.02 miles per hour is a disappointment. On paper, the Aston Martin Vantage should be even quicker. With 550 horsepower, it's the most powerful here, but at almost 2 tons, it's also the heaviest. It takes a little time to gather speed, but once underway, it feels unstoppable, moving above 100 miles per hour much more freely than either the Lotus or the Viper. Luckily, the brakes are fantastic too. It needs them to slow from 155.39 miles per hour. It's time for Ferrari to play its first hand, and it puts the F512M forward, with the most charismatic engine in the world pumping out 434 horsepower. Can it establish Ferrari's dominance, or will the F40 be needed? It feels very fast, but in the end does 161.91 miles per hour. The F40 can't go home yet. We have just timed the Porsche 911 Turbo from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and it doesn't seem likely to lie down and play dead in front of its old foe from Ferrari. It is electrifying from rest, savagely fast up to 150 miles per hour. It hits the light barrier at 163.06 miles per hour. The Ferrari is beaten. Just. The Jaguar's time has come. With its race-bred engine and chassis, it should pulverize everything else that has been so far. To do less would be utter failure. It has 552 horsepower from its twin-turbo engine to make sure of success. Immediately, it feels a league faster than anything else so far, slamming its driver back into its seat, forcing gear change after gear change. Even at 150 miles per hour, the relentless acceleration just keeps on coming. 160 comes and goes, so does 170. Finally, it blasts through the barrier at an incredible 180.27 miles per hour, annihilating all other attempts so far. It is crunch time for Ferrari. What can the F40, an old car compared to the others here, do about the Jaguar's phenomenal time? It has less power, just 478 bhp, but it is a Ferrari. Incredibly, it accelerates away even faster than the Jaguar, feeling more like a thoroughbred racing car than something to be used on the public road. At 140, I'm sure it will beat the Jaguar, but by 170, it has started to slow, lacking the Jaguar's slippery shape and power. It just can't push the air out of the way fast enough. It does 177.79 miles per hour. Close, but not close enough. It has been an incredible day, and no car has disgraced itself. In the end, the Jaguar proved a worthy winner, with the best blend of power, lightweight and aerodynamic efficiency needed to ensure victory. But if there was one car we could take home here, it wouldn't be the Jag. It would be the uncompromised and incomparable Ferrari F40.
British car drivers buy up to 2 million second-hand tyres a year. The latest figures suggest that at least a third aren't safe and many are positively dangerous. And the use of part-worn tyres, as the trade prefers to call them, is on the increase. Rex Grogan has spent a lifetime examining tyres good and bad. He worked in the tyre industry for many years. Now he regularly has to give evidence to fatal accident inquiries about the role played by second-hand tyres.
Buying used tyres is a mug's game. If I go to my filing cabinet, I can pull out quite a number of them where second-hand tyres have definitely caused accidents, have definitely killed people. No question about it.
We've decided to investigate this growing business.
Looking for a couple of tyres.
We bought second-hand tyres in Glasgow, Bristol, London and here in Birmingham, where we were assured that the part-worn tyres offered to us were safe.
Yeah, okay, sure so, yeah.
Our 2 tyres cost £10 each, and they look pretty good. We took the 2 Birmingham tyres to Rex Grogan and asked him if we'd got a bargain. After running a few tests, the tyre expert was shocked.
Well, this one's a killer. Look at that. That's an impact fracture, and the tyre is all weakened under there, and this tyre is going to blow out. This one's going to kill somebody if it's run.
So we took the tyre back to where we'd bought it.
Excuse me. All right, excuse me. We bought this tyre early today, and it's got a large stress fracture. It's got a large stress fracture, and we've had it analysed by an expert who said that could be a killer.
Well, it could be.
The man who seemed to be in charge admitted they did not blow up the tyre or test it before selling it.
This could have been sold to someone who didn't have it tested, and it could have killed him.
Well, no, not really.
Well, that could just go out.
Well, we'll change that.
We've had an expert. Hold on. Hold on. I bought this tyre.
Then he tried to grab ITN's tyre, but we hung on and are passing it to Birmingham Trading Standards officers. In all, ITN bought 26 tyres around Britain. This RAC expert found half were unfit for the road and 5, including this one with a nail through it, were downright dangerous.
No one knows what the history of the tyres are. They could have been involved in a car in a major accident. They could have been left on flat for a long period of time. And of course, you can never know what the damage is that's lurking underneath the outer skin of the tyre.
Many of the second-hand tyres sold in Britain come from Europe. Tyres rejected by Dutch and German motorists are exported for the British market. It's big business, with respectable dealers claiming they do test and inflate all the tyres they sell to make sure they're safe. Not surprisingly, the new tyre industry says that second-hand tyres are not properly tested, in contrast to all new and remold tyres, and that up to half are unsafe. In this spot check, 20% of tyres were illegal. The government is aware of the problem of second-hand tyres. They'll propose tightening standards and requiring every second-hand tyre to be clearly identified.
Coming up after the break, we test a pair of European estates in the Ferrari class for performance. And we track test the world's fastest people carrier.
Tight as those other bastions of the establishment, like the village church or pub. There was a time, not long ago, when you drove an estate car because you had to. Too many kids, one too many dogs, meant giving up the cars that were fun to drive and settling instead for a slow, cumbersome family wagon. Recently, though, things have got a lot better for those of us forced into choosing an estate. For this is the Volvo T5R, the car that Volvo hopes will appeal to a whole new breed of customers who would never have considered buying a Volvo in the past. This Volvo is as spacious and practical as any other you might find in your local high street. It has ample seating for 5, all of Volvo's legendary safety features, and a big boot too. However, unlike other Volvos, this one will also accelerate faster than most sports cars. By using a Porsche-designed 2.3-litre 5-cylinder engine, developing over 225 horsepower, Volvo has created an estate capable of going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7 seconds flat and on to 150 miles per hour. And with its fat tyres and ground-hugging appearance, it'll go round corners quicker than any other Volvo in history too. There is a snag. This Volvo suspension is so stiff that if you've got loose fillings, you better keep off the bumpy roads. So it's far from perfect, but it has genuine novelty value. One drive is all that it takes to convince you that this is the world's ultimate estate car. Unless, that is, you already drive an Audi RS2. Get behind the wheel of this Audi and you'll know the Volvo is actually far from being the ultimate estate. In fact, compared to this Audi, it's not even trying. What we have here is without doubt the maddest estate car in the world. Its engine has more power than a Porsche, and from rest it will out-accelerate a Lamborghini. Flat out it will do over 160 miles per hour, but please, not with the Labrador in the back. Like Volvo, Audi turned to Porsche to help bring life to its vision of a supercar-killing estate. But instead of designing a whole new engine, Porsche merely tuned Audi's existing 2.3-litre 5-cylinder powerhouse to create a reliable 315 horsepower. With four-wheel drive to make sure no power is lost, it accelerates like it's been snagged by a low-flying missile. Rest to 60 takes not much more than 4.5 seconds, quicker than a Ferrari. Of course, you can't give an engine that kind of power without at the same time giving the car the suspension to cope. And once more, Audi turned to Porsche to make sure that the car goes round corners just as well as it goes down the straights. To be honest, it's not much of an estate. Even with the seats folded down, there's not much room in the boot. But never mind that. You may not be able to move house in it, but it still makes a convincing family hold-all as well as a fearsomely capable supercar. But there is a problem with both these cars. The Volvo is expensive, costing about the same as a top-of-the-range executive car. The Audi, well, that's more expensive still, or at least it would be. For Audi, the RS2 was never meant to be a serious production car, more a way of showing exactly what could be done within the confines of an estate car. Production stopped now, and it's never going to be built again.
Noisy, I know, isn't it, on Tickover? But once it gets running, it's smooth enough, refined. In fact, this car, this Ibiza, changed my mind about Seat. Before, I'd associated the company with building rattle boxes, but this thing, it's really well screwed together. And it rides well, drives well, the gear change is smooth, the steering's light. In fact, for a diesel, it's a joy to drive. It's not going to set your pulse racing. I mean, it's a diesel, for heaven's sake. And it's not what you'd call eye-catching. And let's be honest about this. It doesn't even have the right badge on the bonnet. So why am I talking about the Seat Ibiza? Not the world's most exciting car, granted, but this isn't the Seat Ibiza, really. This is the VW Polo. So what are you getting for your money? Well, you're getting a Volkswagen Polo dashboard. Look at this. Same glove box, same centre binnacle, same controls, same switches, buttons, dials. For all I know, the same steering wheel. So really, Seat buyers are getting a bargain price Polo. Sounds like a good deal to me. So, like a Polo inside, but round the back, well, what's going on? Look at these big lights, they're more like a Golf. And this rear screen, it's a letterbox size, again like a Golf. And this high waistline, let's have a look inside. Yeah, look at this boot. It's bigger than a Polo's, smaller than a Golf's, which pretty well sums up the Ibiza. It sort of slots somewhere between Polo and Golf. Volkswagen owners will recognise this little lot. After all, this diesel engine has been lifted straight from the Golf. A clear case of car makers spreading their technology about, if you like. When VW bought Seat and created this, the Seat Ibiza, from the bones of the Polo, it saved itself a fortune and revived an ailing manufacturer in one fell swoop.
When Gavin Conway went to the south of France to test a Renault Espace, he got much, much more than he bargained for.
It looks mighty familiar, this Renault Espace family car, but underneath those huge wings and wheels beats the heart of a real live Formula One race car. Underneath the ultralight bodywork, you will find pure race car technology. The dashboards, seats, and much of the F1's body are made out of super strong carbon fiber. Renault built the F1 Espace with the help of Matra, the company that makes bodies for the regular road-going car. Ex-Formula One star Eric Bernard will do the driving today. Even the brakes are made out of carbon fiber, and Eric reckons they are nearly as good as the ones on Damon Hill's own race car. Renault hopes that this incredible supercar will help promote sales of the regular road-going Espace. The Williams race team, in partnership with Renault in the F1 World Championship, supplied the actual race engine from one of its cars to power this wild Espace. The pit crew starts to prepare the F1 Espace for its flat-out run around the circuit, testing the car's electronics to make sure that nothing goes wrong. The Williams 10-cylinder engine gets up to proper temperature and it's ready to be revved all the way to 13,000 RPM. You need plenty of revs to get this one off the line as well. Eric talks me through the F1 controls.
This is a shift up on the gearbox, down, shift down, here on the left. And this one we never use for the moment is a panic button when everything is wrong. Okay, order, start engine. Everything is on function. Okay, first gear and we go.
Here we go with 800 brake horsepower. That's enough to hurl us from 0 to 120 miles an hour in less than 7 seconds. That's quicker than most cars take to reach 50 miles an hour. The force of acceleration on our bodies is incredible as Eric powers the F1 around the circuit. The F1 rides on racing slicks, and the cornering force is simply tremendous. A high center of gravity makes the Espace a real handful, though. Look at Eric fight the wheel as we go through the corners. Flat out down the straights, the Espace will hit 180 miles an hour. The sound is incredible. I'm really getting into this now, but boy, is it exhausting. My body is straining against all that acceleration and braking power. It seems like Eric needs to make a gear change every couple of seconds. But it's not that hard because this 6-speed gearbox is actually a semi-automatic. It's been one hell of a ride in this, the world's fastest family car.